So Beetlejuice. A bit strange, right? A bit strange. Not a recommend. I maybe see it on streaming. I wouldn't even pay for it, quite frankly. Now, it's not woke and it's not awful, right? But there's many problems with it. The first most fundamental problem, it requires quite a strong knowledge of the original Beetlejuice, which I don't have. Like, I haven't seen it for like 20, 30 years. And it really ties into all the characters that you don't really remember or care about, quite frankly. The new characters are much more interesting. What I think they should have done with this is, instead of having all the human characters, like the non-ghost characters that were in the first movie, they should have had a whole, like, Beetlejuice interacting with a whole bunch of new humans, and more about the kooky Tim Burton afterlife, right? The thing that really weighted it down was its connection to plot elements to the first movie. That continues to be true of Winona Ryder, who is ostensibly the lead of this movie. Micheal Keaton isn't in it that much, and he's in it. He's good, right? But she takes the dramatic weight of the movie, and oh boy, is she just out of her depth, right? I just completely out of her depth. Doesn't give a convincing performance in any way, shape, or form. The whole thing is disappointing in that the original Beetlejuice, I think, was so great because it was so incredibly on the cutting edge of fashion, right? It really was a very cool version of the 80s, late 80s fashion, and it was very innovative, right? This almost totally lacks innovation. And that's why when you get anybody new, any of the new characters, they're much more interesting and much stronger, with the exception of, what's her name? The one in the middle. Was it Jenna? What's her name again? I don't know. Beetlejuice. Hang on, we'll see. Cast. Yeah, Jenny Ortega, right? Man, I'm going to see what has her... Like, what's her acting record been for since the early 90s? Now, don't get me wrong, Winona Ryder in the early 90s, especially in Dracula, very, very seriously stuck in the spank bank then, right? She was much better in Stranger Things. In Stranger Things, she seemed like a normal person. I forgot she was in that. And, anything, Destination Wedding, no. Turks and Cake, I had no idea. The Dilemma, she was in Black Swan. Again, I think as a supporting character, she can do it, but as a main character, she is just wildly out of her depth, sadly, right? Jenna Ortega is pretty good, however. But again, whenever they're dealing with plot elements from the original movies, I'm going, what? Who's that? What's going on? So I didn't even remember the red-headed woman was Winona Ryder's mother in this, and you're supposed to know this intimately, and then they talk about her father, who isn't in this at all, but he's in it in a flashback claymation sequence, which was a bit odd. A lot of it is a bit odd, right? A lot of it is just weirdly judged jokes that don't work that well. So it's, I don't know, 35 odd years later, Winona Ryder's now doing this tacky, they ripped off from Ghostbusters. She's doing this tacky cable show where she talks to dead people, although she really can. And Justin Theroux, who I like him a lot, actually. He was great in The Leftovers. He's a pretty darn good actor. He's his producer and lover of Winona Ryder. And a lot of the movie is about trying to maneuver, getting her to marry him at midnight on Halloween, right? So a lot of it just seems very contrived in general and doesn't really come together. Micheal Keaton, when he's in it, which isn't that much, right? I'll be frank, isn't that much, is obviously having a whale of a time, right? He's really enjoying himself. He really likes the role. And I think you can say the same about Tim Burton. He really likes this world he's created. But now it comes across as self-indulgent, right? Rather than innovative. Like, this would have been much better if this was, like the 6th or 7th Beetlejuice movie. And Micheal Keaton's been playing the character off and on for years. Or maybe he was like, occasionally doesn't turn on Saturday Night Live or something like that. If he just kept the character alive. But 36 years in between appearances, it's jarring. But again, clearly he's enjoying himself. And clearly he's enjoying the character. The best bits of this are the new elements, with the exception of Jenna Ortega, who is Winona Ryder's daughter. And there's a whole thing about her father being dead. And I was just like, wait, am I supposed to know who the father is? I don't know, right? I don't know. Is it drive-in worthy? Yes. Look, as long as you got a date that doesn't mind not watching the movie and having a bit of a snog, right? It's good as a prelude to a fingering, I would say, right? That's the best I can describe of it. The newer characters I found much more interesting. Monica Bellucci, is that her name? She's like Corpse Bride. She's all in these pieces, and she like staples herself together at the beginning. She's got this obsessive need to get to Beetlejuice, and then you have William Dafoe, who's just this weird character. He's a ghost in the afterlife. He was an actor who used to do like police dramas, and he's like the police drama. He's like the head of police or something in the afterlife. But yeah, that's actually quite good. Monica Bellucci is pretty good in it. And also a villain that she like sucks the death out of people, not because you're attacking dead people. Jenna Ortega is apparently like, there's a whole plot line where she meets a boy, and they have like her first kiss and things like that. And I'm like, what? I'm supposed to believe that she's like, completely never kissed a boy before. That's the wrong person to cast for this role. Like a super hot, how old is she, Jenna Ortega? Hang on. Have a look. Jenna Ortega is 21, right? Yeah, she doesn't look like she's 12, frankly, right? Does not look like she's 12. And there are fun little cameos. Danny DeVito, for example, is in it. People turning up playing like these these unnamed spooks, which is kind of fun. Burton Gorman's in it as a priest, which is just weird. And there's a lot of weird that goes through it. And again, this is just Tim Burton's sense of humor. Like at one point, Beetlejuice narrates everything as if it's a Spanish teledrama. And odd, weird things like that happen in it. And in general, it just meanders, right? So the plot is, there's actually several plots going on, and they all come on, interwebs. We were doing so well. I thought the internet's going. It all feels very much like contractual obligation, right? By contractual obligation. It doesn't feel like there's a spark of originality in there, which was the most important thing of the first one. Which is, it's really lacking, right? It's really, really lacking. Best performance was probably the mother, the red-headed woman. Again, this is designed to watch as a curio rather than an entertainment. Like, I wonder what they're doing with that, right? Rather than actually being like saying, oh yeah, we're going to actually do something genuinely entertaining with it, which is not the case. So there you go, Beetlejuice. For me, not a recommend, right? I would say not a recommend. Not that it was terrible, and it certainly wasn't woke. It just wasn't good, right? Bottom line, it just wasn't good. Any other headlines here we should look at? Beetlejuice, no. nothing. All right, fine. Let's have a look at Cosmic Book News, who actually hasn't updated in the last little bit. Man, fans hate that Minecraft trailer, don't they? They absolutely hate the Minecraft trailer. I'm kind of looking forward to Joker 2. That trailer really sold me on it. Okay, Bleeding Full. What we got here? Daredevil Board Game promises a brutal and visceral series. Okay, well, that's what Born Again's supposed to be. Why South Park will no longer mock President Donald Trump. It's just kind of boring now. Despite the strong reviews, Amazon's Rings of Power suffers viewership collapse. Well, who could have seen that coming? So I'm not sure this is true, this story. Disney Plus is Agatha all along committed to more queer representation. I'm not sure this is true because I think they may have stripped all of that out of it. Right, but where did they see that? And Joe Locke, his only character, teen. And box office Beetlejuice scares up 147 million global debut. That's not that great for global? I mean, it made a profit, so it looks like they're going to beg for another one. But why not beg for an original spooky story instead? And Matt, Winona Ryder. Again, all these people, they've just passed it. I'm sorry. Deadpool and Wolverine is still doing well. Blimey. Reagan doing good. Alien Rollins not doing bad. It ends with no idea. The Forge don't know. Twister's still doing good. Blimey. I tell you, the movie industry is dead, baby. It is brown bread. And I do not see it coming back. I mean, I could do, but I just don't see anybody having the worlds put together.
My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. And ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.